Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature. Learn, grow, and take charge of your retirement. This is the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast with financial advisor Bryan Gaiser, founder of Gaiser Financial Group.
So we're coming up on the holidays. You guys have been going through a home renovation. We were joking before, I think in last weekend's show, about how waiting for the kitchen cabinets to come in. No. But the holidays, do you guys usually entertain on the holidays? Or are you going?
Everything's in. We're just waiting on a few panels for the refrigerator door. They put a panel, the wood panels.
Oh, that's so exciting.
The freezer doors, which are separate. But everything else is done. We're just like, hurry up and wait. But then the people who put in the refrigerator are brand new floors. They marked them. So now last week the hardwood floor guys were back in there and they had to sand the whole kitchen and restain and match. And they did a great job. So
the heartache of a home renovator.
Life goes on. That's not like they sent this great reputable company, but the two folks sent over. I think they just got started, but that's okay. That's okay.
Got it. All right. Well, got it fixed.
You can count them. Just one of those things. It's one of those things that's fixed.
Are you guys cooking Thanksgiving dinner at your house, or do you go someplace else?
We'll probably have it at our house. My mother-in-law, another thing in the middle of this, broke her femur in the middle of this. She's in a nursing home and just came to stay with us for a while. She's been let out. I know you can't make this up.
The beat goes on.
Oh man, sad jet. I am. Golly. So So we will be staying where we're staying, and she'll be eating dinner with us. Okay, and so my father-in-law, blah, blah, blah.
Got it. Okay.
So, it's okay. It's all good. It's all good.
It's
all
family.
Working out.
It's life. It's what happens.
That's life.
You just got to keep moving with it.
You got to keep that open mind.
That's right.
You got to keep that mind just going, hey, it is what it is.
Stay positive.
Suck it up, buttercup.
Stay positive.
You say that to my little girl. Now she's 12, but when she was a little girl and fall down, she'd look up at me for just about the whine and go, suck it up, buttercup, pop back up and go. That's where I taught her. And after a while, her knees will be bleeding. She'd keep running.
Oh, well.
So I'm like, that's just life. Just keep rolling.
That's right.
Don't worry about it.
Got to keep going. Right. Avoid getting yourself in stuck situations. But for the financial perspective and conversation that you have with your folks, with your clients in the office every day, Bryan, it's very easy for us to get stuck in so many different aspects. Just investments alone, what we're supposed to do, the analysis paralysis stuck feeling is so real for so many of us. And thinking about our retirement savings specifically, even though we saw a market drop earlier this year, a recent study by Fidelity still found that there are a record number of 401k millionaires. Congratulations to you, because they did not panic with their investments when we saw that drop earlier this year. But CNBC's Sharon Epperson warns that leaving your 401k alone for too long can lead to stuck money. Here's what she said.
95% of the overall 401k investors didn't make any changes at all to their portfolios. That might have been fine if they were in a target date fund and it was, fulfilling their goals. But if they weren't and they just had it there because that's the kind of what they've had for the last years and years and years, that's stuck money. That's money that you haven't properly invested.
It's ironic because this is a case scenario where we don't even realize that something is stuck in our plan. We think that it's my 401k. I don't have to worry about it. It's doing what I need it to do, Bryan. So how do you help somebody? Right. How do you help somebody get unstuck with their savings and their money, especially in that 401k space? Because I feel like a lot of people don't think that they have a ton of options there.
One, we review those options for them, help them, and make them understand each option. Yeah. And the older you get, maybe you want to take a little less risk. It's like, say, stuck. It just, it invests a certain way, those kinds of things. You turn things on, you set it and forget it. That's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
20 years ago, when you were 40 and now you're 60 and you're 5 years from retirement, you might not want to be investing the same way. You might not want to be as aggressive, right? Unless that money, even when you retire, it's just going to transition over and be part of your growth portfolio. And that might be the case. Some people do really well on other sides of the fence, and have great income streams, have rental properties. And I have a client with 16 rental properties. She's in her 80s.
Wow.
And trust me, you better pay your rent. You're going to taste broom.
Coming for
but
you.
Anyway, you're going to taste some broom. But the bottom line is she's got her stuff down to an art. I mean, she has a home inspector every 3 years inspect every single home. I think that's kind of clever.
Yeah.
Then they can find anything they try to hide from them so that she doesn't let a problem go too far. But they have owned property since she was in her 30s. That's 50 years they've owned property.
Yeah.
And they've turned it over. Her husband passed some time back. He was part of the deal in the very beginning for a good while, actually. But the bottom line is that's what you call thinking out ahead. And I think that stops her from getting stuck. She just planted in there, hey, let's do some home inspections once every so often. So they're staggered. She's not doing 16 in 1 year. They're staggered.
Okay.
She used to have 40 properties, that kind of thing.
Okay.
So I think you've got, I know, sold them off, has not needed one dime of their savings. Has not needed. The cash flow is so surplus. You know how I say that all the time?
Yeah.
Surplus income in retirement, surplus income in life.
Yeah.
If you get used to surplus income, I don't need all the income I have. That's the name of the game. The problem is people spend to whatever the income is. And you got to stop that. Got to stop that Amazon, that easy click, click, boom. Here comes a package, right? Do you have 700 pairs of shoes? All those kind of variables come into play. But you've kept those contribution levels location for the same forever. Folks, if you're 50 or older, you can put up to $31,000 into your 401k. In addition to that, they match it. The company matches whatever it is that the match is.
Yeah.
Your salary is $100,000. They match $5,000. Now you've put $36,000 into a 401k.
Yeah.
You're reducing your taxes. You need to also study the option. Does Roth make sense? That's up to $31,000 into a Roth if you're 50 or older. If you're under 50, it's 23. That's still pretty good. So you got, or 23.5, one of the two. But it's still really good. And then you got to look at, okay, how much if I've only been doing 10% all these years, how would it been if I'd have been maxing out all along? What would my accounts look like? Could I go ahead and retire at 62 or 65 instead of 67? So it could have gave you a couple more years in retirement. I think that's really important. And if you have financial accounts everywhere, maybe it's time to do some consolidation. You got 4 money markets and 3 savings and 6 checking accounts. I mean, come on. Who needs all of that?
Right.
Maybe you only need 1 or 2 checking accounts. So just simplify. Do you have money here, there, and everywhere? Now, sometimes you can't help by having different accounts. A lot of people stacking CDs or stacking fixed annuities. You're going to have 3 or 4 different companies because you want to spread around that $300,000 for insurance, 250 FDIC. You want to spread around that safety net, right?
Yep.
Because you only get so much of that safety net, $500,000 at a bank per couple, $600,000 on an insurance product. So it's those kind of things, Heather. Folks, 336-586-5861. If something like this, you've thought about this before, I never changed my 401k, 336-586-5861. Let's sit down and do a plan for you. Let's look at your big picture and see if you're checking off all the boxes, because one small leak can sink a boat, as Ben Franklin used to say. Don't let it sink your retirement. So be smart about it. Just take a breath, take a step back and say, hey, would it be better to go through my list by myself, or should I sit down with a professional? I said, no cost, no obligation. 336-586-5861. Give us a call.
There are so many opportunities for you to make moves now, even though you're coming up on the end of the year, you're thinking to yourself, I'll worry about it next year, or, there's no time to do anything. That's not the case, Bryan, right? There's still time this year to make moves. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you got to make moves. Have you held on to a certain stock forever and ever and ever?
So many.
Now, sometimes that might make sense, but a lot of people that held on to GE of the past wish they never had. No offense to General Electric, but they got themselves spread thin and their stock suffered for it. So did the owners of those stocks.
Yeah,
all right.
Yeah.
It's all about evaluating. Have you evaluated your portfolio lately? That's the first thing we do is kind of look at your overall big picture and say, hey, let us evaluate. Let's let the software do the evaluation and say, hey, this company's showing is in the red a little bit. Maybe you should switch off that company and move to this company or whatever it may be. So it's things of that nature. Have you really, really evaluated what it is you're doing? And I think a big one is stock. I see a lot of people just, my granddad gave me that. And if that's the case and it's $10,000 and you're not worried about it, that's one thing. But if it's $200,000, then you might need to take a step back.
Yeah.
Then again, I do have one person that came in here with $1,500 buy of Walmart back in the early 70s, never put another dime in it. $4.2 million when he came in.
Wow.
Never put another dime.
Wow.
That's how many splits. Isn't that crazy? Right at the beginning of their IPO.
But talk about feeling stuck. I mean, I'm sure that was a situation where he was like, I do not know what to do.
You can't let go of that stock. Just have your stock evaluated. You forgot about your 401k as of, May 23. Those kind of things you got to really think about. There are 1.65 trillion in 401ks that are out there that people have forgot about. Check in. Oh, yeah, I worked at XYZ company 10 years ago. I forgot all about that. Roll that thing into an IRA. Folks, 336-586-5861. There's a lot of things you're probably missing. Let us help you catch up. Let's go through that list. Let's check off and find this unfound money that's sitting there working for you. Let's get it working big time for you.
Yeah. That's the goal, obviously, of every plan that Bryan and his team build at Gaiser Financial. They want to build for you as well. This is a no fee, no obligation initial review process, just a space to empower you with information and streamline and simplify the process, help you get unstuck when it comes to your savings. We've opened up 5 spots on the calendar just for radio listeners today. Call right now, reserve a spot for yourself. It's 336-586-5861. If you're 5 to 10 years from retirement, if you've saved $500,000 or more, want to offer you this full review of your savings and investments complimentary. So call right now. Reserve a time on Bryan's calendar. 336-586-5861. That's 336-586-5861.
Thanks for listening to the Wealth Through Wisdom podcast. To learn more, visit gaiserfinancial.com. Bryan Gaiser is an investment advisor representative of Advisory Alpha LLC, an SEC-registered investment advisor. All opinions expressed by Bryan Gaiser are solely his own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This recording is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. Investment advisory and financial planning services offered through Advisory Alpha LLC, a registered investment advisor. Insurance, coaching, and educational services offered through Gaiser Financial Group. Gaiser Financial Group is a separate and unaffiliated entity of Advisory Alpha LLC. While tax and legal services may be discussed in the general course of financial and investment planning, Advisory Alpha does not provide tax or legal services. Please consult with your tax or legal professional prior to making decisions related to these issues. This material is not endorsed or approved by the Social Security Office or any other government agency. An annuity is a long-term financial product designed largely for asset accumulation and retirement needs. All guarantees are backed by the claims-paying ability of the issuing insurance company. All opinions expressed by externally cited sources are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinions of Advisory Alpha. This is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon for investment decisions. The case studies presented reflects the specific circumstances of one client and should not be considered a guarantee that another client or potential client may experience the same or certain level of results. This is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as investment recommendations or solicitation. Names have been changed to protect the anonymity of clients and are not testimonials in nature.